Hello, everybody. Welcome to Team Training, March 4th, 2021. We are excited to be here the first and third Thursday of every month. We hop on here as a team and do a team training. Tonight, we're actually going to go over some takeaways from the Awaken conference that was last weekend for EDs and above. And then there's a couple of people that were able to get invited that are in action and deserve to be there. So what we wanted to do was just kind of go through and here's some of the takeaways that people had from the weekend, some of the awakenings that they had from the Awaken conference, for lack of a better word, and just kind of see the different perspective that everybody has coming out of that weekend and looking forward to the future of their coaching journey. For me, really fast, the one thing that I thought about this weekend was it just felt different coming out of it. Maybe there were some more actionable steps. It didn't seem like it was such just a bunch of hype and then you just went back to normal life. Like I felt like there was a shift coming out of this. There's like some kind of internal drive to change and really make the rest of this year different. So I'm excited to hear everybody else's takeaways, and we'll get going. We have Arlie coming on, brand new executive director. Arlie, on to share. I'm so excited for you and to hear what you have to tell us about.
Thank you, Jason, and really to everyone. Awaken for me, and it being my first time, was truly amazing. I think those 2 days I just kept saying amazing, amazing. I was throwing my hands up in the air and just amazing. But for me, really what got into my heart was how real all of you are, even though we're in this virtual world physically there, but I felt your genuineness, the commitment that you have to yourselves and to other people, and that you see why, being introduced to this really true life-changing program, but people through Amma, and then meeting Kate, and then meeting all of you and Jason. Emotional, because Awakens taught me to be consistent as well. Because when you put your consistency in, you'll be able to have those dreams that everyone strives and struggle to make their dreams come true, for whomever it is. I'm so thankful. I feel so blessed. And it's not about the rank per se. It's how many more people can we change, just like it's changed me. So thank you.
I love that, Arlie. I think one of the biggest things, like, we all became coaches because of our own story and just wanting to share that with other people because we know how good it made us feel. And so, that's how I started, because I'm like, I know what a struggle this is. I feel awesome. I want everybody to feel this good. So I just absolutely love that. Thank you for sharing. All right, we're going to move right along. I don't want to put too much in between because we want to commit to our good time frame. So Sam, you are next. She's back in warmer weather.
The cold followed me here, so that was fun. But it was warmer today, so thank the Lord. I think I probably suffered syndrome in a major way. And so this time was, it really nailed down that I'm not an imposter, and that it matters who I think I am, and the words that I use with myself. And so some of the early Tiffany and Heather, some of the early speakers who spoke to that and about us being held prisoner by these things, really made a difference. And so my first health assessment, when I got home, I had shared a transformation story from one of my clients, and one of her friends commented and said, "What about diabetes? I have type 2. What about diabetes?" And I reached out and man, she took a health assessment. I got on the phone with her. I did the health assessment in the car with my husband. And when I hung up, I mean, the woman signed today, but when I hung up, he said, "You sounded like a different person on that health assessment." Because I wasn't scared. I wasn't there was not any of this junk in front of me, because I realized that what we have is a gift. I believed it. I had to believe it. And so just that kind of almost like surgery was done on some of my junk, and then today I led my first ever, well, it was a celebration call with I had a coach go senior coach while we were gone. And then she had a client, so this person's been on a week, and we did a celebration call, and it was my first time to lead a celebration call, and I did it, and she wanted me to kind of really sprinkle in coaching. She felt like this girl would be a good coach. She signed up to coach today. So that, I mean, that is a huge shift in just like the way I show up and the way I present myself to the people I'm talking to about the business and about what we have to offer. And that just came from hearing it said enough and from studying my notes. And I guess that's all I've got.
Ah, Sam, I love that. That's so awesome. There's like a quote is like, would you talk to yourself, or would you talk to your kids the way you talk to yourself? And most of us, would say no, because we talk like crap to ourselves, So speak those words of encouragement, and there are no imposters here, like whatsoever, and we don't have to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. I did a share call that, guys, I probably done, if a tied for the most share calls on here, or if not have the most share calls on here with anybody on this call. And my share call today was terrible. I don't know what it was. My brain was just not working. So, even after 6 years, sometimes you just.
So yeah, he did a lot of share calls, and apparently the people didn't know what he was going to say next.
Oh boy. All right. Am I back now? Oh, man.
5 years and being at a lot of events. I mean, definitely everything everyone's saying. I mean, it's so great to be reminded of, when you come in, but I've seen growth in myself, and obviously we don't outgrow our business. I'm struggling. No, I don't like that word. I've had difficulty awakening or sharing the coaching opportunity. And that's always been something, I don't know why. I didn't think I had a block. I just don't know why. And so honestly, when the Asencios were speaking, just that one page of awakening question, I needed that format to just be comfortable. These 4 little questions, what do you want? I mean, I could have written these down. I've probably heard it a million times, but I never did. What do you want? Why do you want? And to dig deeper, because I've never really done that well, but gosh, I could dig deep when it comes to clients. I'm really good at that. I bring on those clients, but down to also with those people is building those relationships with the clients, because it was interesting talking to Jason, the best client, Jennifer on here. She became a coach, but I think a lot of my coaches are because we were close. And that plays a big role. Just one more thing I had written down, even though we may bring on coaches, we can't be held back by those that don't share our vision and envision it for them, we know, and, you know, we can awaken them to the best of our ability, but have to keep, and they will maybe eventually follow. And so I think that held me up too, is like wanting to awaken those that didn't want to wake up and working with the ones who are awakened. So that was kind of a couple of my.
I love it. Yes. Okay. All right. I had to call on my phone. I don't know what's going on. So, well, Dana, I know like having those sheets of questions really help, even though you know it, we all know it, but it's just nice sometimes to see things in a different perspective. And I like it too, though, because it takes that next layers down that sometimes we stop at, you know, and just gives you like a tool to be able to use. So I love that. All right. Now I don't have my list on my phone now. I think I think we have Alma coming up next because I'm using my phone. Thank you, Kate. Yes, Alma, you're up next.
Okay. I was really surprised at how much I loved it, and I especially loved it because really watching this through Arlie's eyes and experiencing it with her was one of the best things in my life. I haven't seen her in like over 10 months. So it's been almost a year. We used to go walking all the time, and then we went from that to just being virtual. So it was absolutely spectacular to see all of you guys and just to really experience something in a different way than I had last year. What my takeaways, I'm still, I will always be a journey in progress, both in my life and in my business. The two things I think that really, there was so much of it. I have a whole book full of it. I have to go through and really decide. The two things that I would say really hit to the core of Alma right now are to stop being in the 5-in-1 prison. I don't know how many of you are in there, but that's how I feel. You know, when she said it, I was like, "Oh my God, that's it, that's it." And so I use that even with my clients. You people have to stop staying in this 5-in-1 prison. So that was really awesome. I need to get out of there. I've committed. I will be out of there by the end of March. So that's my goal. I'm saying it to everybody, so I better get there. So that was it. And then the other thing about me is consistency over intensity. That's me. I will go like in these fits of yeah, and do all this stuff. And then I run out of steam and then I don't do anything, so learning how to be consistent has been something that I am working towards, and so much better than I was a couple of years ago, because, I have a ton of enthusiasm and a passion and all of those type of things. But again, I go through my fits and collect everything, do all this stuff, gain clients and do all this stuff. And then I just like, okay, I'm tired now. So I'm just going to do nothing for a while. So every day, the first time he helped me with that. This next one it's coming at a good time, because I guess this will do that too. So I know it will do that around. That's my takeaway.
I love it. I love it. Perfect example for you, because you're doing your bike rides, right? If all of a sudden, Robert's like, you're doing a 100-mile bike ride today, you might be able to do it, but then you're going to be done for another week or two. You're going to be like, I never want to see a bike again.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, and the good thing, I guess, about that, doing that is really an analogy to my life, because today I just did, an 8-miler and in the neighborhood, and those hills that I used to really like, oh my God, I don't even want to go there. I just was tucking away, just doing it. He's like, wow. So we get stronger the more we push ourselves in every arena of our lives, not just our physical health, but our emotional state as well.
I love it. That's so good. All right. Great job, Amma. Okay, we're going to move on to Kim next. And we figured out something at this RV park at around 8 o'clock every night. Our Wi-Fi just takes a dump. I think it's when everybody hops out and starts watching their shows or something. They take up all the bandwidth. So anyways, all right. Kim, you are up next. Oh, I think you're muted.
Off mute, but maybe your mic's not working. Grab your phone real quick, Kim. No.
All right, maybe take your audio off and put it back on, but we'll go to Kate next, and then we'll come back to you afterwards. Hopefully get that worked out.
Everybody loves technical difficulties. So most certainly, just like Jason said, it was kind of like my first event all over again. And I felt like I needed to skinny close to him and just be like, okay, what do I do next? Because it really did reignite my fire. Most certainly, I think the way that it was presented is more of my learning style. And the way that I also like to learn and teach is by, I want you to go try it and apply it. And so I think huddle time after each of those sections was key to people getting more out of this entire thing. And for me as well, I have been having some growth in the background of figuring out why things are holding me back. And they said some pretty powerful things that just smacked me across the face and the booty and every other place you can be smacked. So they talked about rediscovering your why. And as you do this for a long time, it's kind of hard to remember 5 years ago when you start a program. It's hard to remember 4.5 years ago when you started to coach and the excitement of all of that. And you start getting into so much self-development that you start second guessing yourself. And I just said, enough is freaking enough. I'm getting back to the basics. I am back to being me, unapologetically in your face. I don't give a rat's, because I am just me. And I know I'm perfectly made in the way that I'm supposed to be. So I'll tell you what, I did a live tonight, you guys. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute. And I had 3 people reach out and said, oh my gosh, I need you. And I'm like, okay. So 35 part, of course, I started on March 1st, all on my with me. And so I have committed a lot of business types of things so I can get incredibly succinct at what I do every day to get where I need to be and not really worry about that outcome or what this person is doing over here or whatever. I know where I want to go, and this is what I have to do every single day to get there. So I thought it was great to do that. And then getting over the need to prove, to validate my worth. I think that was a really big thing, because there's so much that goes into the process of what's happening behind. It doesn't always constitute a certain rank or whatever. It has nothing to do with that. And stop chasing those silly little levels. Do the things that bring you the joy, and then everything follows behind it. So
great job, Kate. And how about those Facebook Lives, huh? We had a little conversation about we need more Kate. Yes, we do. So, all right, awesome. I love it. All right, Kim, do you feel like you are?
Can you hear me?
Yep. Good.
Well, I went on my phone, so if it's jiggly, I apologize. All right, we're good? Okay. All right, so like a whole bunch of you guys for a long time, and I thought this one the Waken was cool because, well, it was just smaller. And some of you, I can't see everybody on here, but some of you that were sitting around me when they were like, okay, go in your little small groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we were like, oh, come on. Like, I just want to be with my friends. But once I went with, some of you, it actually was really cool. Like, you look different things, because you kind of know your friends. So anyway, so that was that. But I was actually going to joke around and tell you that I have to coach because I have to feed like that horse and I have to feed these 2 horses over here. I don't know if you can you see them? Yeah, I can. Okay. What did I get out of this? Quiet. Take ownership. I thought that was a good one. Jason and I talked about this today, but coach like you have to. Kind of like Amma was saying, like you coach, like you do some stuff and then you're like, 2 days you don't do anything, and then 2 days you have to, and like I have degrees that I can go back to, but I don't like, well, Jason and I kind of like, what if something happened to Vic, and I'm, here with the kids alone, right? And I have to raise them on my own. And I like being home. I like being home for them, and coaching just fits into that. Right now I can't afford to do that, but like, I don't want to go back to a 9-to-5 job. So coach like you have to. I actually underlined it and put an exclamation point after it. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I'm like, so I'm coaching like I have to. And then we aren't attracting people because we're not leading ourselves. And that's like with my health. I've been back on plan. I think it's January 4th. Like pretty, January kind of was not too good because I had some health issues, but I'm doing good. No drinking, nothing like that. Blah, 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 blah. Make a training rocking your schedule. Hello, I am here. And my coaching why. I don't really have a good coaching why. I mean, all these years I've been doing it, I really don't. So I have to work on that. I have a good why as like losing weight, but I just don't have a good coaching why. So, so I'm working on that. So yeah, I thought it was awesome. I loved it. I think because of the smaller set, okay, that's all I have.
That's awesome, Kim. I love that. I think too, we've mentioned this before. I've mentioned this before. None of us need another thing to do, right? It's just not like, man, let me just add some more things to my plate. But when we do coaching and we have that strong why, like that's question comes from it, because that's where, we're driving for something. I will admit I'm also not the best for coaching why. Like I do the things, like I do all the things, I get on, I do my power hour, I, plug in, I do my messages, but that doesn't take you to that next level. That doesn't take you, to, you can say all you want and say, oh, I'd like to hit the next rank or whatever. But if you don't have something pulling you there, you're just going to go through the motions. You're going to do the check marks. You're going to say, yep, I did my 10 conversations. But like anything, like the passion's not there, the feeling's not there. So finding that next level that you want to take, that thing that you're just like, I have to get there. Like you said, like coach, like you have to. I have all of a sudden everything fell out, and jobs were gone and people are home from work. But guess what? You'd all of a sudden be coaching the crap out of this. You would be out there talking to everybody. So to find what will help you shift that is a huge thing in your journey, onto that next level, because level up. All right. And Alma, real quick, you were talking about getting out of the 5-1 prison, which all of us on here know exactly what you're talking about. I think that whole thing about level up, like that's your next level, right? Is graduating. 5-1's awesome, but what's that next level for your life? What's that next level for your nutrition? Use it for what it's supposed to be, and then let's go. So, I'm here with all of you. I know exactly what you're talking about. And Kate mentioned the 75 for like 75 strong. And we're putting that together. So if that's something that you're not a part of in our event page, Just let me know. I'll get you in there. I just out here. Now we're gonna go over to the Slack.
Second comment. You must really like them. So anyways, hi everybody. It's so good to see you. Loved being with you guys last weekend. I will just say, like, this was only my, I don't know how many events, but with events, like, things can just get like repetitive where you feel like you're always listening to the same thing. But I where you're at in your journey and I'm at, and I know for me, I have a lot of takeaways toward my health coach. Importantly, the ones that I'm really trying to focus on is like leveling up my own personal habits. Tiffany Howard, I think she was like the first session, but she like was speaking to my soul. I'm like, sometimes it's hard to put into words how I felt like emotional, but like she was talking and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like everything that I'm feeling. And like, I know a lot of you like know my story, but I've lost 240 pounds, but I lost 200 in like a year and a half, like really quickly. And I got comfortable. I was at a weight that I hadn't been at in a really long time. And I was just like living in this world where like I felt comfortable and I was doing plan good enough to keep me maintaining, but not good enough to get me to my goal. And so that's really where I'm at, is just like really wanting to like level up my habits. And one thing that Tiffany said that like really struck with me was living in a cage with the doors wide open. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm like here in this cage. I have all of the tools that I need to get out, but I stay in the cage. And I'm like, why do I do that? So I'm really, really, really trying to work hard on what are my demons that are holding me back from moving forward. And I do think one of them is perfectionism. I'm the type of person, I want to do things perfectly. And if I don't, then I just like stop. And I don't know why, because something that I tell my clients all the time is perfectionism doesn't exist. So why don't I listen to that myself when it comes to my own health and my own journey? Like, I don't know. So I'm like really, really, really trying to figure that out. So that's something huge. Another thing that Dr. A said, and I really, really think this applies to me right now, is, you know, at the beginning of my journey, my successes were completely measured in the scale. Like when I saw the numbers going down, that's what motivated me. But now my successes need to be measured in my daily habits. So when I can string all of those daily habits together, that's where I'm going to find my success. And then in turn, I'm going to see that on the scale. So that's where I'm struggling now, is just in my daily habits. Okay. And another thing I want to share, which is kind of not awakened, but it's literally like all together. So this week I signed up, I follow a guy on Instagram. His name is Jon Acuff. He is a Christian author, speaker, but he also is an entrepreneur. He speaks to big brands and teaches them like tons of stuff. But he is doing a 5-day challenge this week called Overcoming Overthinking. I am a giant overthinker. So something he talked about in one of the sessions this week, he calls them the soundtracks that you play over and over and over in your head. And just things that you believe about yourself, or like limiting beliefs kind of. And what he's saying is like, you need to take those things, those soundtracks that play over and over in your head, and you need to switch them to like a positive. And something that I realize that I do and that I play over and over in my head is, Laura, you've lost 240 pounds. What is wrong with you that you can't keep going? Like, what is wrong? Like, so that's like a negative thing in my head. So when it comes to me knowing that I want to lose 40 more pounds, I always just say, why can't I do that? Why can't I do it? What is wrong with me that I can't do it? Instead, I need to switch that to, Laura, you're strong, you're capable, you can do it. You've done it 6 times, you can do it another time. So I just think that this overcoming overthinking thing is like really, really good for me, and goes right along like with my health journey of like learning to switch my negative thoughts into positive like affirmations that I'm saying to myself rather than negative ones. But anyways, I talk a lot, so I could keep Jason, stop. But anyways, I could keep talking. I learned so much, but the biggest one, I need to work on leveling up my own personal habits. And then I need to level up my coaching habits too.
That last one was recorded, Laura. So just so you know. And you have like an Awaken sweatshirt on. Oh, there we go. Awaken Adventure. I love it. Optavia. Awesome. I love that. Perfect. Did you put that on just for this?
Okay, I realized I was on mute, but no, that was not planned. I am not one of those people that like wears the thing to the thing. So I just threw it on.
Where'd you get it?
It's Optavia on the website.
2 years ago for convention, I think that
Was it?
It was something like that.
What's funny is they sent it to me and the logo is off center. So I told them and I got it for free.
I love it. I love that. So I don't have much else to say because that was awesome, Laura. But just think about switching that. Instead of saying you lost 240 pounds and you can't lose 40 pounds, what's wrong with you? You can say, I have lost 240 pounds and I have all the skills and knowledge to lose my last 40 pounds. Like, think about what a shift that is. And just that simple sentence. I mean, first of all, just that first sentence, I've lost 240 pounds. Like, hello, like, that's awesome. We were talking about that. You lost pretty much Jason pre-program, like, so that's amazing. Thanks everybody for sharing tonight. I wanted to, you might have seen my live I did, if you follow me, but I did it live the other day. Where's my book at? I'll try to remember it. But I started reading Win the Day right away on the plane. And yes, it's so good. I love it so far. But I think sometimes in this group, like the Valentine group, sometimes it can be tough because you see a lot of like, oh, this person had ED in 24 hours and stuff like that. Obviously that hasn't happened, but you know what I'm talking about. And sometimes it can be a little bit defeating for some of us that have been doing it for a little bit longer. But I just want to give you this little story because I thought it was so good. And I don't know where it's at. That's fine. So Mark Batterson was talking about at ranches, when the ranch dogs have puppies, the rancher goes and he finds the runt of the litter and he ties a little ribbon on their collar or whatever. And then after 12 weeks, they start selling off the puppies. Now, my brain right away, I was thinking they sold off the runt right away or gave that away. But then reading it said they sell off all the puppies except for the runt. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. Let's see where this goes. So basically what it says is the runt has to work harder than anyone else. And through those struggles, it becomes the fastest, it becomes the smartest, it becomes the strongest because of the obstacles it has to overcome. And because of the runt, the runt is such a right-hand man for the rancher that it becomes an integral part of the whole ranch. And I just thought that was so cool because I'm like, right away my brain was like, oh, the runt, they're not going to do anything. But because they had to work a little bit harder, they become stronger, they become smarter, they become faster. And so sometimes we've been doing this for a little while and we think about those obstacles and we're just like, oh man, can I do this? Can I get to that next level? And all of this is building your strength for that next level. Everything that we've gone through, every struggle is building us and getting us ready for that next part of our journey. So I just, that story really struck me hard. So I've already shared it a couple times, I'm going to probably wear it out, but I really, really just love that analogy and how it fits in with our coaching journey, because we're going to hit a lot of those obstacles. And sometimes we feel like the runt, but you know what? Obstacle is the way, and life happens for us, not to us. So make sure you use that. So anyways, that's all we got. Awesome Zoom. Thank you everybody for sharing. I'm super proud of every single one of you. And I love having you part of this journey with us. So have a great rest of your night. Bye.